everybody, this is Tina with Rehatch Designs. Hope everybody's doing well today. I am turning on the camera because I am working on finishing some journals that I'm making, and I thought maybe that you guys might be interested in maybe just kind of a craft and chat, because I'm making some ephemera for it, and it's not anything, you know, necessarily new, but I thought you might want to just do a craft along with me. I'm kind of gearing my channel up a little bit more toward that. I will be doing process kind of tutorial. I don't really like to call them tutorials, but process videos occasionally. But I'm going to be doing a lot more craft and chat. That way I can actually make journals. You know, when I'm doing so many tutorials, it doesn't really leave time for me to do actual journals, and you know, that's kind of why I started doing this, is because I enjoy making journals. So not that I don't enjoy doing the tutorials, but they are extremely time consuming. They can take anywhere from 3 to 6 hours to do one, you know, 40-minute video. So if you do that every other day or so, then it does kind of take away your time to do journals. Anyway, getting back to that, so I'm making some flip-flop journals. I actually have 3 of them that I'm working on. I had to be out of my mind to think I was going to do 3 all at one time. They are not the same, but they're, you know, they're very close to the same. They all have a different thing on the back, and there's some other subtle differences, but I'm hoping to get these done by Friday and get them in my shop. But anyway, I had really wanted to do something that was you know, kind of you know, ocean, sea themed. When I think of summer, I think of the beach and I think of the ocean. To me, if I had my way, I would spend my entire summer at the ocean. I mean, that's just kind of what I love doing. So, but that being said, I started one and I couldn't make up my mind what papers I wanted to use, so I printed everything out on, and it's mainly all ruby and pearl, and I printed out papers from about, oh, I don't know, 4 or 5 different kits. Blue, two of her C ones, I don't remember exactly what they're called. I'll have to look. The best thing to do is to look under Ruby and Pearl XO on Etsy. But she has 2, I think one Seaside and something else. But anyway, I'm mainly using those, but I also incorporated a lot of blue, other, you know, papers and stuff in it. And so anyway, I've reached a point where I think I have embellished these as far as pockets and lace and trim and all that kind of stuff, as much as I'm probably going to. I might add a few papers here and there, but I really, oh, I need to put tape on that. I went and got tape out to do that and I forgot. These are very vintage papers, so sometimes they crack and rip and stuff like that. So I'm pretty excited about how these journals are turning out. But, you know, I don't want to rush the process. I want to make sure that I do it the way I want to do it. And I probably could use tape too. I'll have to go back in and look through it all. But anyway, obviously with 4 journals, I've got a lot of embellishing, and you know, that took me quite a long time. 3 journals, I'm sorry. but now I'm making ephemera for it, and I'm just kind of going through the stack of stuff that I have. And I am making, like, you know, 3 similar items, you know, I'll do, because once you come up with a design, it's always easier to duplicate it. These I didn't really finish yet. These are just kind of in the beginning stages of what I'm going to be doing. But I'm kind of working on the pictures, and I thought that I would bring you guys along. My nails are, I don't have my fake nails on. I'm kind of taking a break from them because they really have been destroying my nails. But my nails are a mess because I have been doing rusting, because it was really kind of funny. I wanted to have some rusted elements, because to me, you know, I love my rusted elements anyway, but I guess because it was by the sea, I felt like they would definitely be rusted. So I didn't have enough of these rusted. I don't think I had enough of these or whatever. I was running kind of low. I was running low on paper clips. So one thing about when you rust stuff, it does make kind of a mess. And I like to do a lot of things all at one time. And so I've been doing batches and things rust at different speeds, you know, so you have to constantly be going in and out and checking on them. Here, I'll show you this. This is my, isn't this beautiful? All these paper clips. So they're all different sizes in here. Look at these little ones. I love those. Anyway, so I have been rusting things probably for the last 3 days in the same rust solution, just adding more salt and peroxide and whatever. And so it just, the stuff gets in your nails and you can't really get it out. I've been scrubbing them and they're already a mess anyway, but anyway, that's kind of how it's going to be. So what I'm doing today is I am taking a lot of the pictures from these kits and I am backing them, and I'm making things to go in them, tags and things like that. This is the swan. I love this picture, and I have backed it on some coffee dyed paper, and I have like all kinds of different receipts, some vintage, some digital. These are the kind of things I'm going to be using right here that are from the different kits. So I'll be looking, and I don't know how far we'll get. I figured I'd just turn the camera on and see how far we get. And I'm probably not going to do a lot of editing on these videos just because, you know, it's just, I want it to be fun for everyone, including myself. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to tear around these. All I've done is I have taken my art glitter glue and glued these down, and now I'm just going to go, and the reason I'm doing that is I want an edge around these, and I'm using this little tear ruler that is kind of, I don't know, it's a little jaggedy. I don't use the really super jaggedy. I use this one. If I don't use that, then I will usually use this metal ruler, but I'm going to use this, and I'm kind of guesstimating. Yeah, that might be more than I wanted, but I can go back and redo it. My point on this is I'm trying to add a little interest to the picture, and I'm probably on a few of these going to glue them down on a page, but I don't know yet. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to go in and kind of look at the journals, and I didn't do the same pages in each journal because, like I said, what I did is I had well, see, it's not tearing right. I may have to do it by hand. And I don't care if these are straight. That's kind of the point. When I mess these up, they're going to break even more. So, okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so I'm going to do all of these and, of course, save that. That'll probably work on another piece. You know, the thing about this, though, is when you get done, you end up having even more scrap. So let me do in between these so I can get that away. All right. So anyway, this has just been kind of a fun little process. I printed so many papers, so I ended up going, gosh, I had enough for 3 journals. So I thought, oh, I'll just do 3. Not really thinking about what that was going to entail, I don't think. But I do that all the time. I just get a little, just a little over enthusiastic, I think would be what I would say. So I saved the pieces about this big because these are great to stamp on, and I definitely saved these, but you know, save what you think you should save. As I said, you always end up with more scraps, and I do use scraps on things, but these are, I'm going to need bigger pieces than what, you know, what I actually had. So let me get closer to the edge on that. So I have a bunch of different papers, antique papers, and this is a good way to use your, you know, kind of your brittle, if you have some brittle older pages, because it's hard to do anything with those otherwise. So, and I am going to be doing a lot more stuff to these, but this is kind of like the starting point. So I may turn on the camera tomorrow and do more. Okay, so because this is kind of dark here, I am going to probably, let me get my vintage photo out. Where is that? Okay, here it is. I'm probably going to use vintage photo. And let me get this book out of the way. I was using this book. This is one of the new books that I got. Oh, see, look at all these wonderful pictures. Aren't they wonderful? I love the size of these pages and also the kind of the color. And I was using these a lot, and I probably will use them some more, but I wanted a little bit lighter on this. So let me do... Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. So I'm going to do my vintage photo, and I don't care if it crumbles more. In fact, on this, part of the reason I did it with this instead of that other paper, because it's more crumbly, is I wanted to kind of smush it down a little bit and roll it on the ends. So I ink it first, and then I kind of smush, is the technical term. So I'm going to be doing some smushing. Like this picture, I really think it needs to be distressed a little bit more. Yeah, I like that. I like that better. And so that's kind of what I do. That's why it doesn't really matter if it's perfect, because you're going to be smushing anyway. That does not have enough on there. And I don't want to overly ink it, but I do want it to look aged. And on a lot of these, what I'm going to be doing is I'll be adding like a little lace trim or something here in the corner. In fact, I'll do some of those with you guys. But so pretty much when I do multiple journals, this is kind of what I do. And I will tell you that coming up with an idea and deciding how you're going to decorate something is probably the hardest part, and I'm sure a lot of you know that. So when I do journals, sometimes I do duplicates, but I don't. they're never the same inside. I usually don't use the same papers. Usually it's because exactly the same thing, is I can't make up my mind what papers I'm going to use. I'm going to take a sip of my Diet Coke here. And so then what happens is I have all these extra papers and I go, oh, well, I'll just make another journal, you know, like it's no big deal. And of course they're not the same because I'm not usually putting the same papers in them. But I will, on my ephemera, a lot of times I will make similar because, you know, coming up with an idea sometimes is not that easy. And if this rips or splits a little bit when you're doing it, so be it. I had distressed around these pictures and done this, and to kind of give it a vintagey look. And I may sew around these. That's part of the reason I'm not finishing them, is because I'm thinking I might do that on these larger pictures, because just to give it some more, you know, just a little pizzazz. So I like that. Now, part of the reason I didn't use the book page when I did that, and I'll show you, is because the book page, if you use your older book page, it can be kind of brittle. So let me get one and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Why don't we do... I like using it on those pieces because actually I'll do it on that. This is the sailboats. On her what you call it, on her digitals that she has such beautiful images, and it's really hard. I'm doing a lot of these and I don't even know that I'll use them all. Okay, so this book is what, from, it's from the 1904. Okay, so it's an antique book, and I am taking, well, see, it is very brittle. So I'm trying to get it from the edge because I don't even know if these are going to be big enough. Yeah, I'll be good. So I'm going to try not to, yeah, there we go. And I just kind of like the color. So and I am going to, on this, I may double back it. I don't know. Let me see. That is going to blend quite a bit. Maybe I'll do a different picture. No, that's the wrong stack. I gotta use this one. Maybe I'll do that one. Or that. No, I'll do that one. I'm going to do that one. I'll do this one different because I don't want it to blend that much. So, or actually, I'll do that one. I like that one. I don't want the background to blend in that much. I want it to be a little bit of a contrast, not a ton, but a little bit. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so the next thing that I do, I lost my other distress tool, so I'm hoping it'll show up on the floor somewhere. But I'm going to use this and just distress it a little bit. I have another tool, but I like it better, but oh well, I don't know what I did. Oh, there it is right there. I see it. This one's Making Memories. It's actually a little rougher. You can do this with the side of your scissors, but I have poked myself quite a bit doing that, so I just don't do that anymore. I have had so many accidents with my scissors. Okay, and I'm going to do that to all three of these because And I'm going to do more in a minute, but you want them to look gold. See if they look cut in there like that. What we do to make stuff look old, don't we, huh? And if it kind of messes up and crumples up while you're doing it, that's all the better, because that's kind of what you want to do. Now, this has been printed on matte photo paper, so it's, you know, it's pretty sturdy, but it could rip, and if it rips, that's fine. That's why I have my vintage looking tape stuff, which we will use, because it really does give it a very authentically old look. Now that I've done that, I'm going to probably, in this corner, I'm going to bend it a little bit and go back and forth, and maybe a little bit down here. Okay, and then I may curl this up a little bit, and I may curl that up a little bit, you know, just to kind of mess it up. And I'll probably do the same thing over here. Now, remind you, these are not all going in the same book. They're all going in different ones. This is a good thing for y'all to see how I mass make things when I'm making multiple journals, because I do tend to do that. And if you're new to my channel, my reasoning for that is, to me, the hardest part of this craft is taking things out and putting them away. And if you ever see my craft room, you'll get that. I'm going to try, I have been doing antique linen, but I've been using the oxide, and I have really liked that. And I want to see how it looks. And sometimes I use both. Yeah, it gives it a very authentic old look, and not like a really super distressed, overly distressed. See that? I just really love that. And anyway, the oxide, I think, and I bought some other oxides. I need to try them and see how they work, but I really like the oxide. I don't know why. It just, I don't know. It just, to me, it, because I have it in the ink too. I might get that out so I'll show you guys, but to me, now see, this is where I'm talking about. I may go over a couple little spots lightly with my vintage photo, just to make it look a little bit more vintagey, but not do the whole thing. So I love that. Okay, that's good. I love that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I basically go over the little bends that we made, and then, you know, the little parts that we curl, I kind of go on the back of that. I definitely go all around it where I've distressed, and I make sure I get that. I kind of go up in the corners, and that's why this this antique linen works good, because you can see how you can kind of go up on the sides like that, and that really helps. I don't know, make it look very authentically old. Let me get my other antique linen out. I have old paper too that I use. Old paper has a different kind of tone to it, but it does have its place. So I put old paper there, and here's my antique linen. I don't know what happened to my dauber for that. I can't figure out. It probably fell on the floor. I guess I'll just use this one. Now this is the ink, and I'll show you how that looks. Let me show you on this. So to me, it has a different kind of look to it. Similar, but not the same. So, of course, this is kind of mixed because I did not find. Let me see if I can get another dauber here, so I can kind of show you. I don't know where my dauber went. I was looking a minute ago and I couldn't find it. Oh, let's see here. I've got some pink ones. I guess I'll get a new one out. I need to buy more of the little This may be my last one. Yeah, this is the, here, I'm not going to mix it. I'm going to use this on the antique linen here and see. And it just has a little bit different look to it, and that's okay. I don't have that much on there, so. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the ink is great, but I think the oxide, I don't know, it just covers more ground or something. And I just kind of like how it looks. And I bought the oxides in the Vintage Photo, and what else did it say? I don't know what haven't even opened the package yet, guys. Yeah, I have it in walnuts. What is it? It came in a 4-pack. And it is linen, Vintage Photo, antique linen, Vintage Photo, and black soot and walnut stain. And I bought it in the oxides, and I bought it came in a 4, and I already had the linen, but you know what? I thought, I really like it so much, I will definitely use it. But I kind of want to try those, because I've seen some people that said that they really loved inking with the oxides, so I thought, well, I might try that. Okay, I like that. I like that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do with these is I am going to, now that they've been kind of distressed up, I am going to put a little bit of Vintage Photo on the edges. See, I just go in with it. But like this other part in here, I don't want it that dark. You know what I'm saying? I just want it a little tiny. So I use both, really. And sometimes I go in there with old paper. If you watched my video on making papers look old, you'll see that I definitely mix my different inks a lot. So now what I'm going to do is I am just going to take my, and you could do glue stick with this too, but I am going to use my, what do you call it, glue, my art glitter glue, and just kind of, and I do have, you know, the little bottle with the thing, but I like these Bluebell, I think that's what it is, or something Bell bottles, because the thing doesn't get clogged as much, and yes, it comes out more, but sometimes you want that. So, oh, the top came off of my little pen, so I will probably have to replace that. And then I'm just gonna, and I don't care if it is, I actually, when I put the glue on, I don't actually put it all the way to the edge, so that if this is sticking up a little bit, that's okay. And I did it crooked, but it's not going to matter. So I'm going to do that to all 3 of these. I hope this isn't too boring of a video, and it's really not meant to be a tutorial. It's more of a craft and chat, and I think I'm going to have to go to that format. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to not make very many videos, because I can't really keep up with making journals and you know, doing tutorials 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm just going to have to do it as I'm making journals, and hopefully, you know, some people will learn things. So, and I do have a lot of process slash tutorial videos out there for new people. I encourage you to look through my playlist. There's lots of beginner things out there. So I am going to do that. That does need to go down a little bit more in that corner. And that way we get all the glue out of that. And then, okay, this is the first one. It's probably dry. I am going to probably just use my metal ruler on this, because I'm going to go right to the edge. I'm barely going to go, I wouldn't even say probably about 1/16 of an inch. And I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm just tearing that much, okay? And it may seem like a lot to do just for that little bit, but I do think it makes a difference in how your overall it looks in the end. And the reason too is when your paper's brittle, these tear rulers, they'll usually just, you can make it fall apart because it can't really tear that way. So I end up usually using just this, and the metal ruler works better than, or a ruler with a metal edge, but I like these cheap old metal rulers, and I don't know, I've had this for ages. Couldn't find it for a little while, and it was underneath one of my little drawer things in there. Okay, that's probably a little closer than I wanted, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. It will be fine. So let me go ahead and do this. And it does not need to be perfect. We're not going for perfect. We're going for, you know, we've had it for a while, and yeah, see, this one's getting too close too, so I have to go that way. That's all right though. See how it went in there like that, but that's all right. If you were collecting things and you put them in something, that is actually how it would probably look. Okay, so these I am going to, oh, I didn't finish this one. Let me do that one. And I'm going to add more things to these when I'm done, but I do want to kind of go through the process. Okay, you are not tearing where I want it to. Okay, there we go. And I know for some people it may seem like a lot of work for just a little, but it's all those details that really make your journal, I think, look really cool. And so I am not saving these anymore unless they're pretty big and blank, because I have so many. So I am going to go ahead and ink these up. And again, I'm going to use the antique linen, and I'm going to go across. And here we go. And I'm going to do that on all three really quickly. I'm not doing a lot. I'm just doing a little. And here we go. All right. And if it cracks or bends or anything, that's wonderful. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. And again, I'm going to take some of my vintage photo, and I'm going to lightly go over the edge with that. Lightly. Very lightly. Just barely. Just lightly. And that's just to give it some more definition and age. Not a ton, just a little. Alright, so now those are those three. And I think they've been aged up pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and put those in my stack. Now I'm going to kind of show you these. Where did they go? They're on the bottom, I think. Where did they go? Okay, so let's do a few of these. These are printed on glossy photo paper intentionally. Aren't these cool? They do not have a white border around them. I wish they did, but they don't. She has like different colors like blue and whatever, but they have, you know, just a regular border. But what I'm going to do is I am going to age these up, and I am going to put some of, I'm going to back some of them I'm not. So on this one, what I'm going to do is I am going to, first off, what did I do with that thing again? I lost it again. I keep losing it. Here it is. I'm going to distress this a little bit. that's okay. See how that did? I like doing the corners like that. And of course, this is going to distress completely different than, you know, the other matte photo paper, because that's kind of more of a cardstock, and this is more of a, you know, and this glossy paper is not all that sturdy, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I do it on this to give it a more authentic look sometimes. You know, and if there's a lot of photos in one journal, I will change it up like that, especially if it's, you know, like 1950s and stuff like that, just because that's the kind of paper they would have. And I do that and to add interest to the different photos. There we go. And all right, so now that I've done that, I'll pick off all the little extra pieces. And I am going to go through and I am going to take like a big portion of this, and I'm going to go back and forth with that a little bit. And then I'm going to take my antique linen oxide and go across there. And see, that's not showing up real good. I'm going to go again. So this, because this kind of has a yellowy background, this is where old paper works really well. It is a little bit darker and kind of a greenish color. Do you see that? So that will show up a little bit more and then not be too much. And then I'm going to go down here a little bit. And I'm going to kind of do that. Okay. And I'm going to take my my old paper and I'm going to use that around the edges, because I can tell, because the background's kind of beigey, it's probably, the antique linen's probably not going to work real well. And this is where I think your inks work better than your oxides on this glossy paper. So I'm going to take a little bit of that and put it on the edge, a little right there. I can see some white. And the main reason you're doing this is because after you've distressed it, you're going to have that white core under there, and you don't want that. Okay. And I am going to basically do the same thing to all of these, and I'm using the old paper because it's a little bit darker than the antique linen, and on this particular photo I need that, and I am kind of manhandling it as I'm using it, and that actually helps, you know, kind of distress it a little bit. So manhandling, guys, that's a art term. So anyway, I don't know where we come up with this stuff. All right, so I guess I'll just do this side here just to change it up a little. And I always like curl the edges, and I might take a tiny bit and then cut it or rip it or something. Like here, I like that. I don't want to rip that. I like that. Okay. In fact, I want to rip this one a little bit down here. Oh, I ripped off part of her foot. Oh well, that's all right. It'll be all right. And we're going to do this one. Anyway, this is kind of what I do to age up the pictures a little bit. And I will add things to them later and put them, you know, in the journal. I may clip them in the way they are. I may add a little lace or trim to them. I may add a label or something, but the big thing is to age up the pictures. And so I think I'm going to tear that and put that on there. And this does not look right over here to me, so I'm going to have to mess it up a little bit. Yeah, I don't like that tear, so we got to kind of mess with it. Oh, it just did not turn out good. I'm going to rip this whole side off. There we go. I know it seems like a lot, but when you do this in your journal, it really does make a huge difference in the end on making it look really old and collected. Okay. So now that I've done those three like that, I am going to take, oh, I didn't do this, right here. Now on this really dark part right here, if you want it to show, you may want to go back through with the antique or vintage photo, but I think it shows up enough. So anyway, that is what we're going to do. And then I'm going to take, I have a bunch of them up here. This is my, and I did it on this side, so you probably will not be able to see these very well because I had already, I put wax on the other side. I was waxing something. So this is just plain old tape that I got from the dollar store, and I like to get the shiny, not the matte tape. And so all I did is take some ginger alcohol ink, and I always mix mine with alcohol. I don't do it just straight. Well, I do sometimes, but most of the time I don't. And I just take it and I put it like 50% drops and then 50% just plain old alcohol I buy from the dollar store. And all I do is first I put all my tape down, and then I just kind of go over it, and it dries really quick. And that's how I age my tape. No big mystery there. So I am going to take my ruler and I am going to cut this tape in half, or close to half. I don't even care if it's perfect, because the older tape was not this wide most of the time, so I might go here. Yeah, that looks good. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to cut this. And go down here further. Okay, so all that's going to do is help me with my tape being in half. And I'm going to take pieces of this tape. And this is the tricky part, because sometimes when you pull it up, it likes to curl. So I am going to go ahead and put this to the side as I'm doing it. And I'm going to just pull off pieces. Where'd my scissors go? My little scissors. And I'm going to pull off pieces that I think I need. Like right here, I think I want this piece. And this is a smaller piece, and I'm going to put it across the part that I just, remember those that we did? And I'll go ahead and trim that, or I'll wrap it around the back sometimes. Okay, and I will just keep going. I don't put it in all the little bends and stuff, but I will put it in some of them. Kind of interesting, with no fingernails, I can't do anything. I am taking calcium right now, hoping that it helps, but I'm telling you, I have horrible nails. So, and I found some one time that worked really well, and then the company, I don't know, went out of business or something, and it really worked well. So if you know of some that you use that are, it's good, let me know. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there. Okay. And then cut that. I like to a lot of times wrap it around the back, because I think that's kind of a realistic way that it would be. Okay, so, and I'm not doing all of them. I'm doing, you know, just like this little piece here. I think I'm going to put it on the bottom. Okay, so that is kind of all I'm going to do with these. I don't think I'm going to, here, that one's not sticking on the back, so I'll just cut it. There we go. I might put another one up there. Let me see. But anyway, to me, this kind of gives it a really old, authentic look. And you can definitely go crazy with this, but okay, I don't know where that piece came from that's stuck on the bottom. There we go. All right, so anyway, that is what I'm going to do with those. And on the back, what I'm going to do to make them look even, you know, older, is I am just going to take my antique linen and use this brush, because the other way it goes on, I think, a bit too much. And I'm just going to take it. Oh, that was too big of a blotch, but that's okay. Let me go ahead and kind of do that across the back. It's actually going down too dark. But the idea is just to kind of go across the back, just so that you have some. This is not working well. I don't know what's going on with that brush. It's too stiff or something. Yeah, I need these. This is better. I don't know. I might have to throw that brush away. Maybe it got glue or something on it. But you just kind of want to go in and just so that the back kind of matches the front a little bit. That first one, it was definitely too much, but you kind of want to just go just enough, probably more in the corners. And so that's so the back of your photo. And on this one, I don't know that I would glue it to anything. I probably will clip this like on some papers or something. You know, we'll see. I don't know yet. I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I do know that that aged that up a little bit, and I like how that looks, so I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and, what was the second one I was going to do? Oh, okay. This one, I'm missing. Here it is. Okay. So this one, what I want to do is I'm going to do something similar, but I'm also going to back it just because it has all the browns in it. I actually kind of look at what I'm working with, and I kind of look at what would look good with it. And let's see here. I don't know if this will work or not. I have a bunch of different papers. And I don't want it to match for sure, but I don't know. I might put it on some music paper because it might be really pretty. If it even shows up. It might not show up though. This is really, really lightweight paper. Let's see here. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's going to show up. That's what I'm worried about. I don't think it'll even show up at all. So I have basically a whole stash of papers, and I just kind of look at what will look good with that in the background. But I think ultimately what I may do is I may just use some brown paper. No, that doesn't look good either. That doesn't look good either. Let me see. This is some dictionary page. I might try that. And when I pick out my paper, it really has more to do with color than anything else. So, all right, I think I'm going to use the dictionary page because I want something lighter and I want it to crumble pretty well. So I think that'll work. You won't probably ever even notice that its dictionary page except for when you turn it over. So anyway, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to go ahead and distress it. And I actually think I might double layer this. I don't know yet. Let me see. I'll do it on the dictionary page and then see if I like it or not. And I don't always layer these that often because I just think that they would more than likely just be sitting, you know, like in a journal by themselves. But this one, I kind of want to do that. All right. Okay. So I didn't overly distress these. I am going to go ahead and use my old paper because I have a feeling because the other the background is kind of a beigey color. I don't know that you would see the old antique linen all that well, so I'm going to do that. All right. And let me see here. Actually, you know what? I wonder if this parchment paper would look good with that. Oh yeah, I think that would look good. Yeah. All right. I'm going to double do this one. So, all right. So after, did I do all? I didn't do that one. Got to do that one. I'm going to go ahead and do all three. And there we go. Now I'm going to kind of roll this edge a little bit and then vintage that up because it'll show. And then maybe this a little bit. You want it to be like how it really would be if it was worn, because if you've had something that long, it's going to not necessarily be in the greatest shape. So I'm going to do that on this one. Go on the edge of that. Don't be afraid to make it look old. I think that was the thing when I first started doing junk journals that I had a hard time doing, is really kind of manhandling, as I said, my art term, my papers to distress them and stuff. And not be afraid to, you know, vintage things up or grunge them up or whatever, because you're so not used to doing that. If you've ever done other paper crafts, you're doing the exact opposite. So you're trying to preserve them as pristinely as you can, right? So I'm bending over the edges a little again, and I'm putting a little bit of this on there, and this just kind of makes it look old, like it probably would look. Okay, and this is before I glue it down, because after you glue it down, you really, I mean, you could do it, but okay, this is just plain old brown parchment paper, and I'm going to find the one that's not as glossy so it glues down well. And I'm going to glue all of these down on this parchment paper. And I don't care if it goes right to the edge, and it curls a little bit, because that's kind of the look I want. And since I got glue down there, I might as well just put this down there. And I'm going to put that on there. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it took me a while to find this. I kept getting the stuff that was like too glossy. And this I really like. I like the color and everything. It's kind of a very light brown. and I like to make things with it. And I mean, you can use it as regular parchment paper too, but yeah, it took me a while to find it. So all right, let's do that. All right, and I'm going to turn it over to mess with this and just kind of make sure I get it down reasonably good. You don't want it perfect on the edges, but you do want it down. And you want to give it a little bit of time to dry before you tear. Looks like we had some glue gushing out. Okay, that's okay. All right. There we go. So, and I just do that. All right. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go ahead and cut these out, and then I'll tear in a minute. I'm going to just kind of, because they're just too wet to mess with them right now. But this will make them easier to work with while they're drying. If I were not filming this, I probably would wait till they're completely dry, so before I mess with them. Alright, so now I'm going to take a little bit of tape and put it in a couple of these spots. And again, I got to find the one that I already did. And I just buy these mats from the Dollar Tree because you know, you can use them and throw them away if you want to. I mean, you can reuse these, but, and I usually do, but I don't keep them around when they're a big mess. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right there. Probably should have done this before I put it on the parchment paper, but that's okay. I can still cut it. There we go. I'll come back and cut that before all my tape starts going weird. Okay. I do that. And I think I'm going to put one across the top here. Okay, there we go. And then maybe this one, will that fit? It will. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and trim that. And this is not really taping anything together, but it's just another look, just to give it a little bit more age. And I do use the tape sometimes, you know, wide, like it comes, but honestly, I think the thinner tape looks better, but, you know, y'all do it how you want. And I like the shinier tape because that's what they used. All right. So now that we've done that, I think maybe they're dry enough. Let's see here. All right, so now I'm going to tear these again. And let's see if this will work with my tear ruler, because I kind of want a torn-ish edge. Yeah, it's working pretty good. So you see that little edge there? And well, why are you not wanting one to tear? When you only have a little bit to go on these, it can be hard, but the big thing is to make sure you hold down really tight on the side, on this side, and then tear. And then here, let's see. It can be done. This is just a little bit harder because the glue is not all the way dry. And if it doesn't tear perfectly, that's good. That's not a bad thing. So that is how we're going to do it. See, now this started tearing wrong, so I'm just going to do it with my hands. So that's good. And we're going to do these. No, that's not going to have to go here. And I know it doesn't seem like very much on there, but you know what? It's enough. Okay, let me do that. Okay, so our last one. There we go. There we go. And one more side. All right, so now that I've done that, I'm going to just take my old wet paper and I'm going to use a distressed ink. And I don't know how well this is going to stick because you know what, actually I think what I'm going to do is I am probably going to use you know what I'm going to use on this. I'm going to use my let me see here. I'm going to use some permanent ink, and I have Vintage Photo and Archival. I'm going to take that because honestly guys, I don't think it's going to work if I use it. I'm just going to take that because I don't think regular because it's parchment paper, I don't think regular distress ink will work that well. So I'm using my archival ink and I'm just taking my pad and going across it on the edges. And if it smears in the side a little bit, that's okay. But this parchment paper really does add a lot to it. And it's very lightweight, but it gives it just enough of a frame. Okay, I'm going to do that little edge a little bit. Yeah. So this works really well because it is a permanent ink. So it's going to hit the edges really well and it will stick. Alright, yeah, I think that turned out perfect. Okay, so the archival ink worked really well with that, and I really love how that looks. I don't know if I'm going to double do it right now. I don't think I am, because this has to fit in these journals, and they're not very wide. So I think I'm just going to leave it like that. And just kind of work with that. Okay, the other last thing I wanted to show you, because we're not obviously going to get to do all the other decorating part of it today, but The last thing I wanted to show you, if I get them, hold on just a second, are these little thingamajiggies to use on your photos. And what I would do on these, like on this one, is first off I would distress it a little bit. Not a ton, but a little bit. Okay. And right. And what I'm going to do on this is I'm going to take, I think I'm just going to use my antique linen on this because honestly, it has a white background, so it should work pretty well. And then just make sure you do the edges a little bit, because I think that's how they would look, you know. And if you want to too, you can go ahead and bend it and do a little line here and there. I like to just kind of go in on the ends and roll them. You know, I just really like that. I don't know why. And go up on the ends just a little bit, just on the edges. You know, just to add some interest to it, really make it look kind of old. Now this is the oxide that I'm using here. So, and I think it works really well on these glossy ones. I don't know why, but it does. I don't know. It just does. See? I'm going to have to dip it again, I think. Okay. But anyway, it's not a hard process. It's actually really easy. You could do these in front of the TV or whatever. If you've got, if you do 3 journals at one time like me, ugh, don't know what I was thinking. Anyway. Yeah, and I'm just putting a little bit on the edges here and there. Okay. So now all I'm going to do is I would take my journal, and I'm not going to do it on all 3, but I'll do it on one so you can see. And let's just do it on that one. And I will find a page. Any page. It could be this page. Right? This would be a good page. I think this page would be pretty. So then I'll just take my little, I don't know what these are called. I did buy them on Amazon. But let's see, I'm going to take these, and they stick on, so you put them on the corners, okay? And you can put them on all 4, or you can put them on, you know, 2. You can, however you want to do it. This actually needs more ink on top. I didn't ink this very well, did I? And you can take this. Let's see if we put it on 4, if it looks better. I don't know. Sometimes it looks better with 2. Yeah, I think I like it better with 2. And I usually put some glue on there too. If you want to make this a pocket or something, we might do that. I'll do it that way. I'm going to do it this way so it makes a little side pocket. And, oh, I did it backwards. Oh, well, I guess it's not going to be a side pocket. We'll just glue it on because I did it wrong. I do that a lot. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and I put a little glue on here because these things don't stick all that well. And you could just put that on your page. Oop, here we go. Let me get that one on a little bit more. And I just think they look really cool. And they really vintage up your page. Of course, you can put 4 on there, whatever you want to do, but I think that looks really neat. So anyway, that is it, guys, for today. Just doing our different techniques and vintaging up our stuff, just so that we, you know, have some different things. Here's some other ones that I did earlier. I'll show you. So, yeah. So you really kind of have to decide. Now, see on these are on a cardstock. I would probably put these maybe like on a page and make a pocket out of the side of it, but I'm going to go ahead and sew around those. So anyway, that's kind of what I had in mind for today, and I don't know what we'll do tomorrow. We may work on some more ephemera. We may do more things with these pictures. I a lot of times add lace and things like that to them. But anyway, that is what I am doing today, and I will see you guys again soon. So you take care. Bye-bye.